Welcome to another edition of the Fearless Football Forecast. I'm your host, Ronnie Woodward, and I'm joined by the usual crew. Oh, never mind. No Jim, no Tony this week. But to their credit, Tony was in Durham with Duke ECU basketball. Jim's off, so they're busy. So filling in this week is somebody who covers high school football just as much or more than us. Stephen Igoe, our intern, is here. Like I said, you've covered plenty of games, so I think you're a more than willing candidate. But thanks for stopping by and filling in for us this week.
Yeah, man, I've been waiting to make a spot appearance all year on the Fearless Forecast. It feels good to do it, playoff week in the second round, previewing the second round. So happy to be here and looking forward to talking some football.
All right, perfect. Well, since Stephen, you're the perfect person to preview this first game. You've seen Ayden-Grifton, I think, more than any of us. Early in the year, they struggled, obviously. Now they're rolling. They're hosting Edenton Holmes. But before we get into the specific matchup, what do you think is the main difference between the beginning of the year and then the way Ayden-Grifton's playing right now?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I saw them a bunch at the beginning of the year. And just from seeing them then and seeing them now, I think they've gotten a lot more healthy. They've been banged up. Drew Turner's one of their best players defensively and offensively, an ECU commitment.
Yep.
He was banged up. He was playing through injuries, but now he's healthy. He's playing well. R.J. Nelson was banged up earlier in the year, their main running back. So they're getting guys healthy, and they're starting to finally, hit their peak at the right time, obviously. I mean, they started off the year with 6 straight losses, and you go back and you win 6 in a row now to get to the second round of the playoffs. So it's kind of crazy how it worked out. I don't think anybody expected this type of turnaround, but definitely the health is the main reason for the turnaround, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, and kind of to piggyback off that, I mean, I think you got to give props to the coaching staff and the players as far as the commitment. I think I tweeted out there a couple weeks ago, but when you're 0-6, it's easy to fold up and call it good and kind of quit. But they stuck with that thing and got it turned around. So props to everybody over there for what they've done the last couple of months here. That said, let's preview this matchup here. Edenton Holmes is a good team. They come in 9-3. Probably a lot of running, I assume, with these teams, but what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, it'll definitely be a lot different than last week when Ayden-Grifton played Fairmont. And Fairmont was a passing team. All they did was throw the ball, and all Ayden-Grifton did was run the ball for the most part. And this week it'll be much of a more running game all the way around. And Ayden-Grifton actually did well against the pass last week, but now they're going to be facing a familiar offense compared to what they see in practice every day. So it should be a fast-moving, kind of a low-scoring game, you would think, unless both teams break off some big runs, get some penalties or whatnot. But I definitely see it being kind of a grinded-out style of game by both teams, and it should be a good one.
All right. What's your pick in that game? I think you're covering it, but you got to pick one for now.
Yeah. Edenton Holmes, they've only lost 3 games, coming at 9-3. They played Plymouth really tough, who I believe is undefeated right now. They played West Craven really tough. But Ayden-Grifton's playing well, man. I don't know if I can pick against the home team. I'm going to go with the Chargers on that 6-game winning streak. I like them to keep the momentum going.
All right. I was going to pick Holmes before we started the show, but I like what you said about the slow pace, the grinded out, the running. I mean, if that's the kind of game we're looking at, I like Ayden-Grifton. I mean, they run the ball. That's what they do. That's their style. So I like Holmes. I think it's going to be a really tough opponent, but I'll go with the Chargers in a close one, and they get some big runs and win a close game at home. Our next game here, flipping over, J.H. Rose and D.H. Conley, 2 teams that obviously are familiar with each other. There's a ton of storylines, huge rivalry. They played during the regular season in a game that I covered. It was packed. It was a really, really cool environment. That game was at Conley. So is this one. So we're going back to the same spot, the same location for the game. And both teams are riding high right now. I mean, they're obviously 2 powerful offenses, 2 powerful teams. I think we're looking at a similar matchup as the regular season game. But Stephen, I ask you, obviously Conley won 33-20 when they played during the regular season. Conley's rushing attack ended up being too much. What do you think Rose needs to do to try to get a win or maybe reverse that outcome this time?
Clearly, they have to stop the run. It's kind of common sense, but over 500 yards rushing allowed in that game. Contavious Street went down with the injury early in the game. Their 5-star defensive end, that hurt them. They were also banged up in a few other areas. So they got to, maybe now they've seen the offense once, they'll know how to adjust to it a little bit this time. I don't think you're going to completely stop Conley and their running attack, but if you can just slow it down a little bit, make them earn their way down the field. Don't let them get any huge yardage at a time, or huge chunks of yards at a time. And I think Rose will be right there in the end. They definitely have the defensive personnel. It's just a matter of understanding what they're playing and being able to get off blocks to make tackles. So if their defense can play better, I think they definitely have a shot.
All right, I agree. That's a good point. Just to add on one more preview note with this game, I mean, we've obviously talked about the regular season matchup, but last week Rose went on the road, got a big win at Pine Forest. Conley won at home against E.E. Smith. But both were pretty close games, and we're thick of the playoffs now, where you're not going to have many, easy games or cupcake opponents. I mean, this is definitely a big game. I think it's great for Pitt County. There's no doubt. I think it's going to be a really good one. I'll start the picks there. I think I'm covering this one Friday, but I'm going to go with Conley. I think that's maybe the smart pick, just because they did beat Rose the first time and they look like the stronger team. I'm kind of going to walk the fence a little bit, though, because I like Rose in this spot. I think they're playing with nothing to lose because they are the underdog a little bit, and Conley goes in with the edge. So I think if the Rampants can hit some big plays, I think they could win. But I'll take Conley at home in a very, very close competitive game.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a role reversal. Sometimes Conley's looked at as an underdog, and now Rose is, so it'll be interesting watching that storyline. And I like Rose. I think they're the more athletic team, but I think Conley, they're so well coached, and their running game is so tough to stop. It neutralizes that talent that Rose has.
Good point. Yeah.
So I'm going to take Conley in a close game. I really wanted to pick Rose. This was, probably the toughest pick I've ever had to make on this show. It's my first week, so even if I had been on the past shows, I was acting like I've been making picks. So this is definitely one of the toughest ones y'all have picked all season, and it should be an awesome game. I mean, a ton of fans there, and an in-county rivalry.
All right, cool. So we both like Conley and Ayden-Grifton in close games. We'll see how it works out. We'll probably take next week off because of Thanksgiving, the holiday, and probably come back the next week, maybe with some teams playing games, maybe to do some type of season wrap up. But that's kind of the plan for right now. But obviously 2 really good games on Friday, so go check them out. Make sure you get the paper and check reflector.com.